Well, I guess in my opinion, it depends on who the person is that experienced that trauma in their past. I mean, that's why it was so interesting to me to understand that Catherine, Lucy's mother-in-law, had also come from very, very deprived beginnings, and yet she seemed to have traveled through society at a much faster pace than Lucy seems to have managed. So I think it depends on who the person is, but certainly to some extent our past does shape us. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I never write a novel from beginning to end, and I never have. And so I do work in scenes, and then when I have scenes that I think what I call have a heartbeat to them, they stay on the table and the other ones get tossed onto the floor. And so when I have these scenes, I realize that in some way they will connect with each other. And so that's really that's almost the start of the process of making the book, which is to find the beginning and then which scene, connects to another scene and which one connects to the other. So that's really how I go about making the book. I think it's healthy. They are who they are. And I think that they know each other fairly well in a certain kind of way that even transcends the fact that they knew each other for so long back when they were young. I think there's something about Lucy and William that they do understand each other in a certain way. And so I think it's perfectly healthy that they are continuing this sort of, relationship at the moment. That was an experience I had when my father died many, many years ago, and I was very, very grief-stricken when he died. And I do remember that sensation. I came across it in my journal one day, years later, and I thought, oh, that's actually exactly what it is. So that's where I got that image. I had no idea that I would be writing so many Lucy books. When I wrote that first book, My Name is Lucy Barton, I thought, well, that's that. And then I wrote Anything is Possible just because I was so interested in the different people that she and her mother were talking about. And then I thought, okay, that's that. And then I wrote William because I realized, wait a minute, William's got his story. Let's look into that. And then I wrote one more. But I had no idea when I finished any of those books that I would be writing another one about these people. Well, exactly. That's a very good question, and we don't really know. We only know that she has her memoir, which is the first one, My Name is Lucy Barton, is called in later books her memoir. But we actually do not know what Lucy has written about, which I think is I find that a little bit interesting. But we don't know. I would like to say a few things about my first husband, William. William has lately been through some very sad events. Many of us have, but I would like to mention them. It feels almost a compulsion. He is 71 years old now. My second husband, David, died last year, and in my grief for him, I have felt grief for William as well. Grief is it is such a solitary thing. This is the terror of it, I think. It is like sliding down the outside of a really long glass building while nobody sees you. But it is William I want to speak of here. His name is William Gerhardt, and when we married, I took his last name, even though at the time it was not fashionable to do so. My college roommate said, "Lucy, you're taking his name? I thought you were a feminist." And I told her that I did not care about being a feminist. I told her I did not want to be me anymore. At that time, I felt that I was tired of being me. I had spent my whole life not wanting to be me. This is what I thought then. And so I took his name and became Lucy Gerhardt for 11 years. But it did not ever feel right to me. And almost immediately after William's mother died, I went to the motor vehicle place to get my own name back on my driver's license, even though it was more difficult than I had thought it would be. I had to go back and bring in some court documents, but I did. I became Lucy Barton again. We were married for almost 20 years before I left him, and we have 2 daughters, and we have been friendly for a long time now. How, I'm not sure exactly. There are many terrible stories of divorce, but except for the separation itself, ours is not one of them. Sometimes I thought I would die from the pain of our separating and the pain it caused my girls. But I did not die, and I am here, and so is William. Because I am a novelist, I have to write this almost like a novel, but it is true as I can make it. And I want to say, it is difficult to know what to say. But when I report something about William, it is because he told it to me or because I saw it with my own eyes. So I will start this story when William was 69 years old, which is less than 2 years ago now.